Yes, Christian Linke resigned because of all the online hate generated by some freaks. Before you go to the comment section, no, he did not resign. I mean, he did, but a long time ago. And maybe you're questioning yourself, how do I know that information? It was mentioned during a conversation between Necrit and Marc Merill. Necrit is the guy who does lore videos related to League of Legends and the Runeterra universe, and Marc Merrill, he is the co-founder of Riot Games and also the executive producer of Arcane. They had a conversation where Necrit asked him about his current role and his previous role within Riot Games, and Marc Merrill mentioned in response that he stepped back in an operating role because things he valued were at risk of not happening. One of them was Arcane, and he mentioned during that response that Christian Linke resigned. Now I will play the relevant part of the response. The response is a bit longer, and it's part of a longer conversation between the two which happened on Twitch. Of course, link to all of that is in the description.
And we put a leadership team of rioters, right, in charge of a bunch of stuff. And then, the company started going through a bunch of crises, and then, then obviously we had a lot of games that we'd been working on for so many years, started to come out and all that. And certain things needed more attention, or they're at risk of not happening, right? Like Christian Linke resigned, as an example, before Arcane was going to come out, so it never would have happened. And so that was the catalyst that got me to be like, no, hold on. And when they called, Christian Nicola called, and that's what got me back in at an operating level.
Finally, all I can say is that after I listened to that conversation, I went back and I watched the Bridging the Rift episodes, which is the documentary of how Arcane was created, and you can see how many times Arcane was at risk of not happening, which is quite interesting. It's interesting to talk about, obviously. I do know that for some people the idea of Arcane not being a thing is nightmare fuel. There is another group of people, of course, who are in an active state of hatred towards everything related to the show, and obviously towards the creators. Those are freaks, and to mirror what I said in the beginning, Christian Linke resigning because of them, yeah, that did not happen. I am certain that losing Christian Linke would be a major loss. You simply do not give up someone who's so passionate about a project and actively worked on releasing an amazing show. Arcane wouldn't be a thing without Christian Linke. It's simply how it is. If you are also wondering what game Necrit was playing, he was playing World of Warcraft, which is an amazing game. Hopefully one day we will be playing the Riot MMO. And if you want to see someone else playing World of Warcraft, or rather listen to what they have to say about different topics, you can go and watch Marc Merill's streams, because yes, he streams on Twitch, he streams himself playing World of Warcraft, and he also responds to a bunch of questions people ask him in the chat. He even responded to some of mine, so maybe he will respond to some of yours. Besides all of this, of course, you can tell me your own opinion in the comment section.